Hey guys, so recently on the Japanese server, they gave Crown Prince Noctis some enhancements. His enhancements are very powerful. They're the first time they've enhanced a damage dealer to make them worthwhile in a really long time. Even though he's a 7-star still, his damage is on the level of Neovision units. It's really nice. So we're going to be taking him to one of the harder trials in the game, Scorn of Bahamut Hard Mode, which is one of the really tight DPS races, and we're going to see if we can get it in time with our 7-star Crown Prince Noctis, his enhanced version. So this is the team we're going to use. This is going to be Noctis. Now, even though he's still a 7-star and can't use vision cards, with his enhancements, he's still got Neo Vision stats without a vision card. He's got 4,100 attack power and lots of killers. I geared him for 220 Beast Killer and 295 Dragon Killer. So this is how you do enhancements for a 7-star unit in the Neo Visions era. You make them actually worthwhile. I'm really glad they did this. And the friend we're taking is unable to use Noctis, geared better than mine. He's got 4,300 attack power, and then his killers are 275 Beast and 300 Dragon. He is really looking good. Okay, and the rest of the team is a pretty classic Bahamut team. We've got Shoreline Fina, 40,000 hit points, 3,000 Spirit in this form, and then Shift form has a lot of elemental resistances for the element attacks. She's got, elemental resist gear. We're going to be using Warrior of Light Bart's Neo Vision's Awakening as a support unit. He's going to be doing Wind Imbue, Wind Imperil, Wind Amplify for the party. He's going to be entrusting. He's going to be giving the whole team AR frames for chaining. And he's going to be summoning Lakshmi every now and then to heal the tank. Shift form geared pretty much the same thing. A little bit of auto limit, a little bit of auto esper. Shadow is going to be our gauge breaker with katanas. Other than that, not much more to say. And he's going to be doing katana and peril and all that. Laswell and Reagan are going to be doing dragon mitigation, dragon killer. They're going to be our tag chainer, so our Noctises can cap. And other than that, they're going to be geared for some damage. They've got maxed out LB damage, and then 225 Beast, 275 Dragon. Shift form, same thing, just a little bit higher Beast Killer. There we go. And there's Noctis. Okay, let's get in here and see how we do on hard mode Bahamut. Alright, so the boss does his field. We don't really care. So we're going to be just basically chilling with the DPS until the kill turn. We do need mitigation against dragons for Phasey, so we're going to go ahead and do that with last gen. We're going to entrust to last gen so his LB is ready for later. Noctis is... actually, we're not using Noctis' LB. We're going to shift Phasey, and we're going to do general mitigation and... come on, stop that. We're going to do general mitigation and magic mitigation. And then Shadow is going to break the boss and start using his double katana for katana break. Okay. So turn 1 is a bunch of physical attacks. It's pretty painful, and Phasey is not really the best physical tank. But we're having her tank them anyway. These are physical attacks, even though it looks like a lightning bolt. It's physical damage. It's painful, but we've got dragon mitigation from Laswell and all that, so we're okay. Now we're going to shift Phasey back to her base form that's wearing really high spirit and hit points, and we're going to guard her. We're going to shift Bart to his utility form, and we're going to summon Lakshmi. The DPS can all just guard here, and Shadow can start just continuing to break the gauge. You really can't even hurt Bahamut hardly until the gauge is gone, so it's almost not even worth wasting your time chaining on him and hitting the boss. I mean, we could, but it's just such not worth it. So here's going to be a double flare turn. It's going to be pretty painful, as you see. Phase takes a lot of damage, but she was guarding with all her mitigations up, so it's okay. So Shadow is going to just do a triple gauge break again. Bartz will summon Lakshmi again. We're going to just guard the DPS. And Phasey will refresh, cover, and provoke. So So turn 3, the boss doesn't do anything. He just charges up for his Mega Flare. He's going to do Mega Flare next turn. Yeah, one last countdown. And Mega Flare coming in next turn. Overall, though, honestly, Mega Flare is actually even weaker than his Double Flare on turn 2. But we are going to guard FaZe to make sure she's safe. We're going to triple Katana Break with Shadow. Get more of that gauge away. And we're just going to guard everyone. Not really doing anything here. So here's a single cast of Mega Flare. It hurts kind of, but not as bad as turn 2, so it's fine. Alright, the boss's stat breaks are wearing off soon, so we're going to use Shadow to refresh them, and they're going to continue Katana breaking. We're going to go ahead and shift FaZe into her shift form that's wearing all the resistance gear, because now we're going to get some elemental attacks. We're going to refresh cover, and why does it keep glitching like that? We're going to refresh cover, and we're going to do a resistance buff. We'll summon Lakshmi with Bartz to top off FaZe, and we can just guard all the DPS. So the reason the DPS aren't helping break the gauge is I want the gauge to break on turn 8. That allows us to get 3 turns in a row of uninterrupted damage. If you break the gauge earlier, the boss is still attacking you during it, and you don't really have free actions. But if I break it on turn 8, I'm going to have 3 turns in a row to do whatever I want, and the boss is not going to do anything to bother me. So anyway, turn 6, we're going to be getting Shadow to go back to just triple casting Katana Break. FaZe is going to put up Provoke and Magic Mitigation. We're going to guard all the DPS. And Bartz is now going to start getting us ready for the kill turn. We're going to use his Magnus to give the whole party AR chain frames. We're going to give the whole party 45% Wind Amplify. And we have to cast something with a third cast, and we don't want to hit the boss, so we'll just cast his attack buff. Which is kind of obsolete, we're doing our own attack buffs, but whatever. Here's some more elemental attacks. Bartz gave us wind resist as well, which helps with that wind attack right there. Alright, Shadow, once again, I want you to triple cast your gauge break and get the gauge ready to be broken next turn. So there we go. Next turn, the gauge will be broken and we're good. This turn, we're going to have FaZe just heal herself a little bit and do a mana regen and LB fill. Bartz is going to go back to his base form, and we're going to imbue wind to both the Noctises. So imbue wind, and then imperil wind to the boss. Both the Noctises are going to use their new attack buff, which is a 300% attack buff for multiple turns. And then last gen is going to do LB damage buff. We're going to do Dragon Killer buff, and we're going to do an imperil on the boss. Okay, next turn we're going to start dealing our damage. Some single target attacks on FaZe. This turn is pretty minor and not really dangerous. All right, let's have Shadow finish off that gauge. So we're going to finish off the break gauge, then we're going to do a Katana Imperil, and then we're going to do a bigger defense break. Okay, so Noctis is now going to start quintuple casting and capping. We're going to just use his modifier boost. These are killer buffs, but we don't have any dragon or beast killers, so it doesn't really matter which one of these casts. They all do the same modifier boost. And then point blank warp strike. So a bunch of modifier boost, point blank warp strike. We're gonna shift last gen and gonna cap a chain. And like I said, Bartz gave the party AR frames, kind of like, you know, Summer Fina and Lid do, or Regis, etc. We've now got wind AR frames, and we're gonna be single casting them with our 2 support units. So we're gonna build this chain, and we're gonna cap it with all our DPS. Now, I'm usually not the best at timing this. I'm gonna hope I time it correctly. So we're going to start this, do this. Okay, I timed it right. There we go. It's a little bit tricky to time, but I got it. So because we broke the boss on turn 8 he's not going to do anything. He's going to sit there and just pass his turn. This is why I broke it on turn 8. Turn 9, he's going to do the exact same thing. He's going to sit there and just pass his turn on turn 9. Anyway, Bartz is going to entrust to last gen. Last gen's going to shift, and now we're going to go start using tag chains. We're going to tag chain his LB. Well, first of all, we're going to reload the Noctis's. Yeah, Noctis's LB is actually not really worth using. His capping skill is stronger than his LB. So we're going to cap again with Noctis. We're going to use the tag chaining LB with last gen. And we're going to use the other 2 units in a minute. Okay, so to time this, I need to... This is a little tricky to time. These tag chains and Noctis is a little tricky to time. I'm still getting used to it. I'm still new at using him with his new enhancements. So we're going to wait. We're going to do Noctis. And we're going to wait until they cast twice. And then we're going to send last gen. That should have done it. It did. Good timing. Good timing. Okay, so now we're going to use Phasey to fill LB gauge again. And Shadow is going to just triple cast LB fill. So we can do that again next turn. And the boss, once again, is going to just pass his turn because we broke him on turn 8. Skip his turn, do nothing. There you go. That's how you do it. Alright, so we're going to just have Shadow fill LB gauge again. So last gen is good to go. And we're going to use AR chains to build... we're actually doing pretty good damage. This is technically not even necessary. But we're going to go ahead and build the chain even quicker with AR chains. So we're going to AR chain twice, and then use, okay, so let's see. So we're going to send, make sure I do this properly. We're going to send Noctis, 1, 2, send the AR chains, send the tag chainers. Got it. Okay. 10 turns with 7-star Noctis. That is cool. Very nice. 7-star Noctis, tag chaining. Tag chainer with Last Ball and Reagan, Dragon Killer buff. Support units, we got Bart's in there for the Wind Amplify. That was really nice. Oh, I like that. Noctis is strong. 10 turns. Well, technically 3 turns. We stalled for a long time intentionally. That all our DPS were guarding for lots of turns. And the reason I did that is so that Phasey could help out with the tag chaining and all, and the support chaining. Because if I had broken the boss earlier than turn 8, he would still be attacking me, and Phasey would have to do things like guard and mitigate and all that. But by waiting until turn 8 to break the boss, I could have Phasey chip in with the chaining and the LB fill and all that. So it was a little bit smoother doing it on turn 8. But we killed him across 3 turns with Noctis. That is really cool. So out of curiosity, I'm not gonna play that on video. I was gonna say, like, how high could I get his attack power? It doesn't matter. He was geared for killers. It could be higher. So there we go. All done. I'll see you guys for the next one.